Today we are talking about Gen Z's favorite Democrat TikTok influencer, Harry Sisson.
And I just want to remind everybody, especially the Republicans, that Gen Z and the Democrats are going to make sure that Biden gets a second term and we hold on to this building in 2024.
The first big news here is that the man has a girlfriend, which is big news. Now, he was posting all these videos about his girlfriend on his second account, flexing that he has a babe in his life. It's confirmed that he has a girlfriend. And it's sort of like a F you to the haters.
Shout out to everybody who's made a fake page just to stare at me and spy on me. You are obsessed and sick.
Which I do think is kind of funny because, well, everyone is surprised.
Is this allowed?
And this is proof that all other accusations just can fall by the wayside. I mean, he has a girlfriend. Now, why am I reporting this shocking news to all of you? Well, because the appearance of Harry's new boo has unleashed the wrath of his roster of other women. All 11 of them. Overcompensating? He seems to be a bit too inclusive, a bit too loving of too many ladies, which, again, is wild. Someone said, so he's a JFK Clinton Democrat. Yes. So he calls out Trump for allegedly degrading women and then does the same thing. Yeah, the irony on this one is exactly why I'm talking about this today. Someone else said, the biggest surprise that it's a roster of females. Oh, the jokes just never end. Now, remember, everyone, Harry is a champion for women's rights. This is currently his pinned tweet on X. America failed women tonight. This is from November 5th. Trump bullied, assaulted, and stripped reproductive rights away from women all across the country, and instead of standing against it, many voted for it. We have failed our daughters, mothers, and sisters. Interesting, Harry. Interesting that you care so much about the daughters of the world.
Happy International Women's Day. It's a good day. It is a good day. So to all the women out there who are hardworking, passionate, caring, dedicated, loving.
He simps so hard for women's rights. But in 2025, that basically just means access to abortion, so this behavior all tracks. In fact, it is this heroic feminist activism that got the ladies fawning over him in his DMs. One girl in particular on his roster, who has now come forward, had initially reached out to him commending him on his efforts, especially his work advocating for women. I think she was even the one who was a sexual assault survivor. Basically, she was saying, thank you for advocating for this. I have experienced this, and shared those intimate details. And so they developed a rapport. They started talking. So there was a tweet that went viral yesterday exposing basically his whole roster, the fact that all these women are coming forward saying, Harry said I was the only one and there's 11 other ones. It's a whole thing now, okay? In lieu of his new relationship. This is what the tweet said. Harry Sisson convinced 11 different women that he had no roster and respected them for more than their bodies while persuading them to send explicit photos of themselves through Snapchat, including one from a domestic abuse survivor. When the women discovered each other one by one, he called all of them insane and lunatics, and attempted to coerce one of them into telling the public that the photos were fake. A request of the reader set political differences to the side. I believe both sides of the aisle can agree that this is unacceptable behavior from a man-child who collectively has over 2 million followers. Thread here. And then it goes into a whole thread from all the different women saying all the different things that Harry said to them, and they're all mad because they were not the only one, although he was telling them that they were. This is just a photo of one of the girls talking and showing the explicit conversations that they had with each other.
Brother.
There's a lot to unpack here because it was a consensual, explicit conversation. So I'm not entirely sure why showing this proves that he is fully wrong. We're gonna unpack everything, okay? So here's just one of the photos. That was a damning photo. And then this is Chris Mowry, his BFF, his bestie, his bro, okay? And then this is the video that went viral because he was calling the women insane, okay?
Don't read on live. Yeah, I saw about this. Actually lunatics. Genuinely, they are. This individual in question is insane.
Wait, who are we talking?
And so, legitimately, Chris and I have been talking about this for days now. This individual.
Wait, who?
Crazy.
Wait.
So he's referring apparently to one of these women. So this is just a random video that went viral and reaffirmed him calling her those names. But I don't know which girl specifically he is calling that name to because, again, there are so many ladies. Harry must have had a busy schedule, Snapchat schedule, Speaking of busy schedules, I have a very busy schedule, and so it's been very difficult to make sure that my health stays on track and that I'm getting all of the proper nutrients, which is why I love Balance of Nature. Imagine trying to eat 31 different fruits and vegetables every single day. That sounds miserable and time-consuming, frankly impossible, like trying to keep up with 11 different women. Harry, but with Balance of Nature fruits and veggies, there has never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure that you get a wide variety of fruits and veggies in every single day with 31 different whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Balance of Nature takes fruits and veggies, they freeze dry them, turn them into a powder, and then put them into a capsule. Then all you have to do is take your fruit and veggie capsules every single day, and your body knows what to do with them. I've been trying to get better about my supplement routine, and so I have my fruit and veggie capsules right next to all my supplements, and I'm getting very good at taking them every single day, which is just improving my overall health. So if you also want to get a balanced diet, you can go to balanceofnature.com and use promo code Conrad for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer, plus you will get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Conrad. Now, Harry, on the other hand, was not living a balanced lifestyle, which is why things caught up with him, clearly. The thread basically goes on to show that there are countless DMs back and forth, Harry being like, hey, sexy, send me a pic, blah, blah, blah. Just like gross F-boy behavior that these women are engaging with and in. Here's a few, though, of their stories because they've all now made TikToks talking about how much they hate Harry now.
I think it's time that I expose his trashy behavior. We started talking in May of last year, right before my birthday, and he, wooed me. He was very kind. I felt really excited and thankful that I found somebody who, at the time, I thought respected me for more than my physical appearance. I'm really embarrassed to admit this, but I created a private story on Snapchat for just him and named it For Your Eyes Only, and he loved it. He loved the attention that I was giving him and the fact that he knew that I wasn't entertaining anybody else the way I was entertaining him.
Why are you doing this? 9 months? You make a Snapchat channel for this man that you don't really know, and then you just proceed to send explicit images for many, many months. And the second you send an image to someone, you can't even guarantee that it is just his eyes. That's another thing that I hate about this whole concept. It's a whole side conversation, but when you send a picture to someone else, that picture then can go anywhere. You can no longer confirm that it is just for his eyes. So women, men, act accordingly knowing that information. I can't stress that enough.
Within the first 2 to 3 months, he had told me on 2 separate occasions that I was wife material and that he was, quote unquote, sold on my wifey application.
And if he was, why aren't you guys in a relationship? Why weren't you having relationship discussions? You're sending this man pictures for 9 months. You guys are flirting, having little sexy conversations. If he wanted to wife you up or actually took your relationship seriously, he would have done things differently, and you could have pushed those things to be done differently if you wanted a relationship with him.
6 months into talking, he suddenly is like, I'm not looking for any commitment and I'm not in a place to find anything long-term right now. I'm just really busy, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't help but feel that he led me on. And he even admitted to that. He's like, yeah, that's on me for not making my intentions clear.
At least they're talking about it. But again, 6 months in, gosh, people, intentions up front.
And then next thing I know, he's posting a soft launch thirst trap of him and his new girlfriend 2 weeks ago. Keep in mind, he was well aware of the fact that I was very depressed following a very traumatic car accident that I had been in. And he still took advantage of my sadness.
It's one of those things. It sucks. Yes, these experiences and her emotions make total sense. I get it. I hear her. And then learn from this mistake of investing your time and your energy and your emotions in intimate conversations with a man who does not care about you, even if he was saying, oh, you're so hot, wifey material, unless he actually wants to pursue you. Guard your heart. Guard that. For me, maybe because I am now 28 and I find Snapchat to be a dumb app that I never use ever anymore. If you're only communicating with a man on Snapchat, perhaps he is not mature and he doesn't want a long-term relationship with you. Okay? That's all I have to say about Snapchat. Okay, here's another girl.
He did inform me that there was no roster, essentially implying I was the only person he was talking to, the only person he was receiving photos from. And I was, again, fine with that. But of course, if you're going to tell me that there's no roster and I'm the only person you're talking to, I'm going to believe that.
Okay, so he's lying. Like, he's clearly lying to these women. That's disgusting. And there's more to unpack.
If he had flat told us, hey, I am talking to other people. When we asked, when all like a dozen of us asked, hey, are you talking to anybody? Instead, he lied and said he did not have a roster and that he was not talking to anybody.
Harry, lying, gonna bite you in the butt, sir, as it clearly has. Honestly, though, even hearing the word roster made me laugh because the second that a boy would say that I don't have a roster would be a red flag to me that even if you're using the word roster, I don't know, maybe it's because they're out of the dating scene for a while, but like the fact is, no, babe, I don't have a roster. Okay, you definitely have a roster. The second that you were saying the word roster, like, I asked my husband actually about that word and I just said, like, this is what this guy is saying. And my husband's like, I have one for sports. Like, it was such like a... He didn't even understand it because he's like a wholesome guy, because those do exist, ladies. That line, well, I don't have a roster, which all these women used, is like, well, he said that to me. I get it, but he lied. And it sucks, but he lied. And I'm not surprised that he lied. I mean, he lies and manipulates his reporting on Trump policies all of the time. So this is nothing new. But did he ever own up to his lies? Well, sort of. Because before this actually blew up on X yesterday, it looks like a few days prior to that, he and his buddy, Chris, addressed some of the controversy on a TikTok live. They did this again before it went mega viral on X, so they're probably regretting their positioning and delivery of this apology. This really was what entertained me, is the way that, again, these two feminist allies justified their D-bag behavior. I mean, it's quite impressive. Like, they look like they're 17. Like, I feel like I'm watching two high school boys be like, yeah, babes, I was talking to 11 of you at the same time. Like, this is so unserious. And the reason, again, that I want to highlight this is because Joe Biden had this man at the White House, okay? So he's being given this status of authority and brilliance in the Gen Z political department. That's why this is so freaking stupid and why I wanted to highlight this. All right, let's hear them brilliantly discuss their douchebaggery.
With said individual, I set those parameters of being like, we're not exclusive, there's no long-term thing here. I also have like screenshots to back it up, but I'm not interested in like whipping that out right now, right? It's just, I'm not interested in playing that game. But at the end of the fundamental, at the end of the day, shouldn't have been dishonest. That's what it is. It was a juvenile mistake. It was high school. Reminded me of like something your guy friends would do in high school. That's it.
It reminded me of other guys with you in high school. Bro, you did it. And you're 22. You're not in high school. That's the point here. Not that it makes it better if he's just regardless, he's not in high school. It's just so funny to me.
Those mistakes can often hurt people. And that's why this mistake in particular like is wrong. And somebody just said it's quote unquote boys being boys or guys being guys. We first of all don't agree with that principle, but it certainly feels like this action could fall into that category.
We reject that principle. We don't believe in that, but we literally just did that.
We first of all don't agree with that principle, but it certainly feels like this action could fall into that category.
That line is my favorite line of this entire video. Don't be the stereotype if you are an advocate against it. Again, that's why this is so funny. It's high school shit. It's just boys. But it was you, and you're 22.
Did it, learn from it, and we're gonna grow. And that's what it is.
And everyone's picking up here. There's no apology necessarily being said. It's just, we did it. It was wrong. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Everyone just really wants an apology to acknowledge that what they did is wrong.
And these, took place many months ago. Certainly not, I think, recently.
Some of them were recent, apparently.
But I will reiterate that, like, behind the scenes, and I won't, I'm not gonna name names. Not trying to get messy with this shit.
The ladies went messy. They went right for the jugular.
Behind the scenes, like, Chris is having explicit messages and explicit photos hung over his head.
Stop sending them. That's evil to blackmail someone with photos, and don't send them in the first place. Protect yourselves.
Chris sent explicit photos and they're being held over his head now?
The second you send it, it becomes blackmail. When the fun little fling becomes sour.
Dirty hoe.
My girlfriend's identity, which she wants to keep private, is being held over my head. And just across the board, right? So I think my overall point is that, like, yeah, what, I did was regrettable, right? You should be honest, right? And when you can be.
He's teaching us about honesty, guys.
But having the response being like, we're gonna locate your girlfriend who's private, and we all know like how crazy MAGA is. Like if MAGA, I don't know if you've seen like on Twitter, they've been like taking the pictures of me and my girlfriend in the videos and they've been posting it with like obscene captions. They've been doing it here on TikTok. We know how crazy MAGA is.
Doxing is never good, ladies and gentlemen. That's bad, obviously, not good. He's posting his girlfriend. So people are trying to find out who she is. Don't post the girl then. Like, I know he's not posting her face. Don't post her. I get why he's wanted to now to verify some things, but regardless.
Once MAGA gets a hold of information like that, they will run with it and they will go after her.
Spin everything to MAGA, please. Thank you. This is your apology video, apparently, and you're just like, but MAGA, man. No, you're the one under scrutiny right now. Try to throw the blame.
There's not many people who like know about this. I think there's some people who reached out to us privately to ask.
Well, boys, this was before it went mega viral over on X. The last time I checked, the post had like 12 million impressions. So I'm actually glad that they made this video because now we can see what they were saying about it.
Accountability, right? That's the most important thing. But also we want transparency. So if you have questions about this and you're interested in asking them and there's something that you're just like still unsure about, we are 100% interested in answering those questions so you guys know everything. Because what I also will say is that transparently, what's up? Sorry, go ahead. Transparently, there's been a lot of information left out of these things. Once again, Chris and I are trying to be adults. We're trying to be mature and we're not interested in getting into an information battle.
You're trying to be adults because 2 months ago, you were not behaving like adults. Now they're quickly trying to, well, we're adults now. We're acting mature now. Yeah.
People in my personal life are being like dragged into this, and these individuals are getting like doxing, like Harry's girlfriend, spending like all day and all night trying to like, essentially, trying to like
today, Junior.
Guys, just say you're sorry. That's literally, I think, what people probably want who are pissed off. But they're playing the victim. Just apologize first.
I'm not interested in information war here, but while these videos were like being posted, while you guys were hearing about this, like these individuals were also like texting Harry saying like, you know, explicit things of, oh, I'm so sorry. We could make up if you come here and do.
Also, can I quickly add something to that? When I got into a relationship, one of these people texted me that they wanted to come to where I live and do stuff. And I had to remind them that I'm in a relationship, that I'm loyal to my girlfriend. We are exclusive and that I am very much happy with her.
He had to remind her though, because maybe just don't respond. That could help the situation. I had to remind her because, you know, we were chatting. I mean, he did apparently stop talking to these women when he had a relationship, which is what started all of this. Like, he finally drew the line because he got into a relationship. And then when the line was drawn, all the women were like, what do you mean there's a lot? Like, and then they saw the girl and then they got mad, which is fair. Still, he wasn't cheating. It doesn't sound like. I'm trying to give you guys the cliff notes of this conversation because this goes on for like 14 minutes and this was just a part of this live stream that they had. But they were saying that they were never, you know, in relationships with these women. Obviously, they didn't even talk on the phone ever. Like, I think these were literally Snapchat conversations is what it seems like, unless other women are coming out with other information. But so far what I've seen is just snaps back and forth. And then at the end, Chris, his buddy, who I don't even know why Chris is here because, like, this has nothing to do with Chris. It clearly does. Like, clearly they're probably both doing this. They're trying to, like, quickly learn how to defend themselves against this. But then he goes on justifying why he didn't tell the women he had other women on the roster. He says it was because to protect his privacy.
I was doing it to protect my own privacy, but in hindsight, obviously, there are better ways to protect privacy.
I also want to point out, and I'm sorry for engaging here, maybe when I shouldn't. I'm just going to be, like, straight up honest. Like, multiple of these people were talking to both of us at the same time. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to get upset here. I'm going to go scorched earth. But, like, the dishonesty framing here is a little frustrating. Like, the people that you're listening to are saying that, like, again, in these scenarios where we've never met any of these individuals and Harry was leading X, Y, and Z, like, we both know that they were talking to both of us at the same time. In fact, I was in the same room getting the same images and stuff while we're now claiming that, like, it's a being led on. I don't want to get into this, but, like, this is, like, the framing here is unbelievably dishonest. It's dishonest. It is.
So that's something else. Again, so many parts of this. From the ladies' angle, that's bad. From the men, that they know they're both receiving these images and they don't care. And they're like, bro, look, she sent me this. Oh, look. Like, that's gross. There's so much of this. What are we doing, Gen Z? What are we doing? This is why, gents. why us here on the right, we're not big fans of the Me Too era in which they just believed all women universally without any context. I mean, there's a reason why we should unpack these stories. We should actually get to the truth and the nuance, because there always is nuance, and it's important to investigate that and understand it and not just blanket believe all women. Is that a hot take? I'll probably, even just for saying that, Carrie will probably call me a misogynist because I'm even implying that sometimes women lie, but like, that's why we were saying that. The ones who come with receipts, like I'm hearing them. I don't think these women are necessarily lying. Maybe they're leaving out context, some of them, but that's why we unpack all of this to get to the truth. But God forbid we even say that on other stories. And these same boys would be like, well, how dare you say that? How dare you even imply that women lie? Because they do, because everyone lies sometimes. That's the whole problem.
When you look at a male feminist like Harry, it's so, like, you're trying so hard to compensate for something.
When you are that vocal as a male feminist, in my eyes, my red flags go up higher of like, okay, now you need to extra prove that you're not what you're advocating against, because it just seems fishy. But maybe that's because we feel that way about male feminists, whereas like women who love what they're saying are probably like, oh my gosh, she's the best thing ever.
It's just, I think it's also kind of ironic to me, because how could you, if you're one of those girls and he's like asking you for nudes, how do you think this is a male feminist?
The second that he asked for explicit photos of you when you guys are not dating, you're not exclusive.
You're not even having phone
it's
calls.
Just for fun. That goes right out the window of everything he claims to be. I care about you more than just your looks. I care about he's a player. He's a player who loves abortion rights. Like, guys, that's what this man is. But the irony is, yes, what he's asking for, while simultaneously being like, don't care about your looks. I don't like objectifying women. I'm a male feminist, but send me nudes. Regarding that video, someone said, manipulated 11 women. That's not a mistake. I don't think in the moment, he thought what he was doing was a mistake, because I don't think he realized all the women would then find each other and rally and go on the internet. Someone else said, this is not an apology. I think I did watch the whole 14 minutes, and they did maybe at one point say like, I'm sorry, but blah, blah, blah. So it was never like, we messed up, we are sorry. The end. That would have been way more effective than this like 14-minute whatever that was. Someone else said, wait, so they are just as fake and disingenuous as they always seemed? No way. Yes way. Shocking. Ladies, just because a boy says he's a feminist and a safe space doesn't mean he actually is. Just because, frankly, anyone says anything doesn't mean they actually are. Again, look at their actions and judge accordingly. Also, respect yourself and your bodies more than just sending explicit pictures over Snapchat. Please, 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 I can't stress this enough. Guard your heart and your body so that you are not hurt months later when the guy still has no interest in anything serious with you. Demand more of yourself and for yourself, and then move along if it's not being reciprocated. Frankly, this advice should be applied to both girls and guys. Don't share intimate details of your life with a stranger or intimate photos with, again, anyone, frankly. Regardless of if he said he has a roster or not, Harry does not appear to have ever been dating any of these women, nor did any of them believe to be exclusive. Frankly, none of them even used the word dating. They were all just sort of talking over Snap DMs. Those lines got blurry, as often happens when you're just talking for long periods of time with no set boundaries or expectations. Or frankly, sometimes they're set and then they end up evolving into something else, and then you get sad when the boy or girl still think like, well, we're just not exclusive. Protect yourselves from that hurt later down the line. I mean, I don't even think that they were having like phone calls. Like it was strictly Snap photos and DMs back and forth. Was he lying and leading girls on? Yes, and that's gross. He was acting like a douchebag. But I'm also not seeing evidence of him being a cheater necessarily, at least not yet. It sounds like when he actually got into a legitimate relationship, he cut ties with those women. Or stopped sending explicit photos? I don't know fully what the cut ties mean, but enough that the women noticed and then called him out for it. Another girl commented under that live apology over on TikTok and said, this is so disappointing. Am I shocked? No. All men are the same, LMAO. To all those commenters throwing shade at all men as a result of this, like Molly, I would say that it is possible to be both a stand-up man and someone who cares about women. I just have to think about my husband, and that is confirmation enough. Or all of my guy friends. In this situation, these boys, not men, boys, are in fact playing into this stereotype and the principle about, well, boys will be boys, that they, of course, though, fundamentally don't agree with. And the credibility of these boys is now shot to hell, so they're going to have to start acting like men to be taken seriously again from women on their side. On our side, however, we didn't trust the male feminist wise words of a 22-year-old TikToker to begin with. But the reason, again, that I wanted to talk about this story is because it is rich with irony when the same boys on TikTok who go out of their way to be voices for women, wishing me and my fellow women a happy International Women's Day, when most of us women didn't even know that it was that day, while simultaneously celebrating women by objectifying them, lying to them, whatever else the heck they were doing that they've now been exposed for. It's just too poetically hypocritical not to share. They will make great politicians in the future. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. And last but not least, if you want more content, you can follow me on X and Instagram. Thanks so much and have a great day.